Hello, my name is Samantha Hill, and this is my Unit 10 weather observation. So just a reminder of where I'm located. I am in North Pole, which is southeast of the city of Fairbanks, with the Tanana River to the southwest of me right here. I did my observations from Monday, March 23rd until Friday, March 27th, and I compared my data with the NWS at the Fairbanks International Airport. So here is a little chart of my observations. It's cut off a little bit on the end, I apologize. That I'll be comparing to in the coming slides. So for my air temperature, starting off, I took my temperatures at about 7 o'clock every evening, which was great because at 7 o'clock now in the interior, the sun is still up and it's still pretty warm outside. So for my first day, March 23rd, I took my readings at 7:10, and at the time of observation, the temperatures were about 37 degrees Fahrenheit. The mins for the day were 9.7-ish, and the max was about 38 degrees. For the next day, March 24th, the time of observation was 7:15, and the temperature was 42 degrees. The minimum for the day was 20 degrees, and the maximum was 45. For March 25th, I took my observations at 7:10. The temperature at the time was 40 degrees. The minimum for the day was 18, and the maximum for the day was 49.9, or about 50 degrees. For March 26th, I took my observations again at 7:10, and at the time it was 47 degrees outside. The minimum for the day was 18, and the maximum was 52. For my last day, March 27th, I took my readings at 7:15, and at the time it was 48 degrees. The minimum for the day was 25, and the maximum was 49 degrees Fahrenheit. And so my mins and maxes, they kind of have a few offs compared to the NWS, but for the most part, they're on the upward slope when you compare them to the airport's weather. And I think something that has to do with this is the fact that I'm out in North Pole and I'm comparing them to Fairbanks. And I also think that since I have my thermometer on the front porch, it's kind of in the direct sunlight, even though I tried to shade it a little bit, but I think that may have skewed my data just a little bit. So for the barometric pressure, so for my first day, March 23rd, I had a reading of 1,005 millibars. For the 24th, I had 1,013 millibars. The 25th of March, I had 1,015 millibars. For the 26th, I had 1,012 millibars. And for the 27th, I had 1,004 millibars. And this as well kind of directly compares to the NWS. It has the same shape where it goes down towards the week, and by the 27th, it's on an upward rise. So for the weather maps, so when we look at the March 23rd picture of Alaska, there's a high pressure system over the interior, right about here, with a slight cloud coverage, which we can see, and there's a low pressure system building in the south down here with some troughs that are moving out from it. For March 24th, there's the continuation of the high pressure system over the interior. There's that low pressure system that's still building its way up, and it's grown quite more than the previous day, with a few troughs found here and here that are going over the land. For March 25th, that low pressure system has moved towards the interior, and it had brought some slight clouds along with it. There's this stationary front in the northwest of the interior, right about here. And there's the occluded front in the south down here that has that one trough coming off of it. And this is bringing that low front into the state. March 26th, that occluded front has now moved more inland, and it has a bunch of troughs that are coming off of it, as you can see, bringing that low pressure system in. And you can also see some cloud cover over the interior. So for my last weather observation day, March 27th, that occluded front has gone away and is moving south. You can also see lots of rain along the coast of the southern Alaska. And then you can also see this trough moving through. And then looking at the GOES images from Wednesday, March 25th, if you're looking at the infrared image, you can see just a little cloud right about here over the interior. You can look at this cyclone that's going on down here, and it's a more thicker cloud covering over the state. In the visible image, again, there's only slight cloud cover over the interior, with a mixture of the thick and thin clouds, again, in the cyclone area that's building. And then in the water vapor, you can see that it's not very dark, so there's little to no water in the clouds, and we know that because there was no precipitation this week. And that is all I have. Thank you for listening to my Unit 10 weather observation. Thanks.